you know what he did?
How much were you aware of her character, before coming into this? And if you knew anything, how much, of what you knew did you bring to your performance in season two?
Yeah, I mean, what's so great about, coming into something that is already established and so loved is that the groundwork is really set up in a nice way. Um, and yes, I played the first game and I got like halfway through the second game, so I got to the point where you are playing as Abby. I wanted to come at it with my own thoughts and my own uh energy, but I did want to honor what I did want to honor the game in my performance as well. So what I noticed about the the game, and I actually realized this like closer to shooting. I probably noticed this like on my first day of shooting, but just the way she carries herself and the way that she sort of presents herself in a room full of people. I think she really does put up a certain wall, and I think she's got this very tough exterior, and I think that toughness and that strength actually comes from her past and what she's been through and what the things she's had to see, and really the grief I think has sort of driven her um in many ways. And in the first episode, I guess I can speak on the first episode, we're seeing her in a very raw place, which um, I think is really important for the lovers of the game and the fans of the show to see, just because in the game we don't get that opportunity when we first are introduced to her. We're just introduced to her um, and we don't know who she is. We don't know her background. We don't know where she comes from or why she's doing what she's doing. And I think it's important to have that context for her. So that was really, I was definitely taking bits from the game, but also coming to it with my own ideas.
And she has her own relationships with, Manny, Mel, Nora, and Owen. How was it building that dynamic with all of the cast during the filming process?
Well, it's kind of cool because again, and I can't. I mean, we do see the the fireflies in the opening scene, and I think what's cool about meeting all of them. I mean, I actually known Danny for a few years. I also worked with Ariella on my first movie. Ariella plays Mel. I've known each other. We've known each other since we were like 10, 11 years old, which is really fun to get to work with her again. Um, and I think, yeah, I think that group is just kind of just getting their footing. This like big shift and this big change has just happened, and they're all kind of like finding their footing. So it was kind of nice for us to all organically, we're kind of all figuring out what our dynamic is as actors together, and the group just so happens to also be figuring out their footing. And they're all such great actors, and they're so talented, and I had a great time with them.
Were there any particularly unique challenges that you had to face when filming season two that you really didn't expect to have to face? And if so, how did you overcome those?
I guess the emotional journey of Abby is very dark and heavy. I was going through a lot personally while I was shooting this. It was like right up until I like flew out the day before to shoot my first scene on this show, and was dealing with a lot. And so I think that was probably the biggest challenge, is like balancing my my personal life and this job. But everyone on set made everything so I just felt very cared for on this job. And the other one that comes to mind is I had a full on, and I can say this because it's the first scene in the first episode, is I had a full on spider bite on my face that was severely infected.
My God.
And you can't see it because it's all CGI, but I was dealing with that for a lot of the scenes in episode 1. It was
Oh,
such a giant thing on my cheek. It was so horrible. So that was also kind of a challenge.
oh, I could have not gotten through
Yeah, it
that.
was not great. Not cute, but it's just the power of CGI is really amazing because it can't even tell at all.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell. And I don't even have to tell you this, but the entire world of The Last of Us is so gorgeous, despite being entirely scary. And it really just immerses you in the world. What was something
Yeah.
about the set or the production that really made you fully feel like you were in this world?
I think this show and the crew I mean, everything is so detailed. Everything is so thought out, so thorough, um, so specific. And when you walk onto set, it everything, down to like dirt on the walls and, um, the other background actors with infected makeup on. It just is when you see that those actors up close, it really is kind of surreal to see the detail in the makeup and the wardrobe and it's so everything it's so involved and I just you can really feel it on set and it's really kind of mind-blowing to see. So I've never been a part of something like this before ever. I did I mean yeah, I mean I did an alien movie before this and it was just it's a totally different kind of world and a lot of the alien work I was just doing a lot of it by myself in an empty room and then it was everything was happening in post later, but a lot of what we're doing here on The Last of Us is a lot of it's practical, which is really it was really cool to get to see that and witness it.